Let's get it. Salute, salute. Everybody some time to tap in to that 5 minute mark. Let's get in the building. Salute, salute. Get it to that 5 minute mark. What's going on, Lines Pride? Appreciate you. How you doing, sis? Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate your time. Get to that 5 minute mark. Let everybody check in and tap in. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna get into when you wake up, what's going on. It's a lot going on. I'm gonna discuss this evening. Just waiting for the 5 minute mark, and I'm gonna do what I do. And again, thanks for everybody who tapping in. I'm gonna tap in on this Sunday night, evening, wherever you at, wherever you be. Strap on that seatbelt. All right, so first and foremost, when you wake up as a person, a human being, and you start to see clearly, vision becomes like 2020 because you see everything totally different, totally differently. And that helps due to some facts I'm going to get into. One of the first facts is that a lot of people that you thought or believed you were seeing eye to eye with, you're not seeing eye to eye with them any longer. And again, the things you see and you point out, because some people are still oblivious or blind to the facts that you're seeing things a lot more clearly, they may attempt to call you out or tell you, no, it ain't like that, or why you paying that attention, or that's not important, or that's not relevant, or that's your opinion, or that's the way you see it. And when you start to point certain things out, you don't want people to agree or disagree. That's the thing. When you wake up or when you become woke, and I don't mean woke like these so-called movements they got going on. No, I mean woke like you're not a sheep. There's no wool over your eyes. Appreciate you for tapping in, Carla. Thank you. Like it's no more wool over your eyes. You're not sleep like a sheep. Like you woke like a wolf. Like you totally get it from a logical standpoint that the world is a jungle and nobody cares you get ate up or you get trampled in the stampede. You just become a casualty of war. And when you become a casualty of war, people may mourn for a little while, a day or two, a week tops, a week tops, but they ain't gonna mourn for months, years. Because when you become woke, you understand that nobody literally and logically cares about you. And that's not a knock on people. You just see that for what it's worth now. So things that you used to pay attention to, it don't mean anything no more. And this is not an age thing. This is a mentality thing. This is a mindset. This is not a nationality thing. This is a mindset. This is not a culture thing. This is a mindset. And when you get into the right mentality and the right mindset constantly, because now you can see things clearly, people going to challenge what you see. They ain't going to even look into what you see. They just going to challenge you on what you see because they aware You fully seeing clearly now. And they got to say to themselves or even others, I don't know what he paying attention to, but that don't mean nothing. Or why you worrying about that? You can't control the government or politicians or doctors or music or sports. It's not that I want to control any of those things or you want to control any of those things. You're just not allowing those things to control you no more because your mind has become free of thinking like a slave, moving like a slave. You freed your mind from being held captive. You literally now can see clearly, so you become a free thinker. Like you question things that other people may think about or consider, but you actually question it, and you'll question it at any given moment. So you may question the Bible, and to a lot of religious people, it's like, oh, that's blasphemous. You going against God. And since you're a free thinker, you're gonna be like, okay, all right, that's what you think I'm doing. Okay, no problem. Since you became a free thinker, you may question music. You may question movies, TV shows, food, education, the economy, money, economics. And when you start to do that, certain people will tell you, this is giving me a headache. They don't want to allow themselves to free their mind up from the control that the CIA has been implanting on people for a long time. It's called a psychological bias. I'm going to say that again. It's called the psychological bias, a psychological bias. And when you do that, you'll really get to see how you're viewed now. And it's not going to matter to you how you view. How come? Due to the facts that you see things from a different lens now, from a different perspective now. And when you analyze things differently, you'll really see where you stand at. And majority of the times, you'll be standing by yourself. You'll be standing by yourself. I mean, you're already literally and logically standing alone, but you'll see yourself standing alone now because a lot of people say they standing with you, they standing with you. But when you start to really plant your feet firmly on the ground and you stand for something, you'll see people retreat due to the fact that you don't want to fall for anything any longer. So you rather stand alone because you're not going to fall for anything. And you get involved with things just so you could see it more clearly, not to literally be involved, just so you could see it more clearly. See, you start to accept that people get involved with things just to be in the way. But you get involved with things so you can make your way through the situation. Like, all right, I literally can see this more clearer. I know this ain't about growth. This ain't about prosperities. This is just a distraction. And that may be music. That may be religion. It may be sports. But now you can literally see it's a distraction. I ain't gonna let this distract me no more. I ain't mad at those who gonna be involved or want to be involved. I just know for me, I'm only involved with it so I can really see the inner workings of it. And you'll start to see how, without you even looking to do so, you'll be challenging people integrity, people morals, people values, because you see things from a different lens. And you'll be told, oh, you think you're smarter than people, you think you know more than people, you think you're better. Now I'm just literally thinking. And my thought process now is different. And I'm thinking differently from everything around me. And I gotta connect with my inner thoughts. I gotta readapt the way that I see things so I can see things clearly. And when that starts to happen out of nowhere, you'll see people reaction. Hate gonna come. And I don't mean that hate like when you get something new, or the hate like when you're in a relationship, somebody want to see you in. I'm talking about personal hate. People start to personally hate you because you starting to elevate your energy, your frequency, your vibes. And now you don't personally have a problem with anything or anybody. You start to look at you and say, I know better than this. And things are not beneath you because you're bigger and better. Things are beneath you because your mind has elevated. I'm going to say it again. Things are not beneath you because you're bigger and better. Your mind has elevated. Your mind has elevated. So you start to see a lot more things and situations and people as shallow and hollow. It's like, oh, now I can see this coming. I can see through this. So you start to become a visionary because you could analyze analyzation. So you could pay attention to what need to be paid attention to and leave everything else to the side. And when you become a free thinker, you start to educate and stop worrying about entertaining because that's going to be around. And then when the entertainment stops, what you going to do? You're going to look for another situation to thrill seek or that dopamine. But when you educate and you elevate, you can keep doing that because it's infinite. But when that entertainment aspect wear off, it's like drinking, smoking weed, using drugs. You're gonna need something else to get you high again. But when you get high off education and you start to evolve and elevate, Now people know you're not on a substance or dopamine. So now they want to bring you back down to where they believe or thought you should be or thought you would stay. It's like, hold on, how you get up there? You're supposed to be down here with us. And you not saying to them, y'all beneath me. Just gotta elevate. You gotta elevate. Because you start to understand that things are recycling themselves right before your eyes. You like, hold on, I seen this movie before. It just got different actors. I heard these songs before. It's just somebody else singing them. These games been played. It's just other participants now. And it ain't damn if you do or damn if you don't. Nah, make it happen. And I'm learning that. Make it happen. I don't mind being uncomfortable to learn, but I'm not going to be comfortable and I'm stuck on nothing. So for me to get and become uncomfortable to learn, I'm with that. Because once you get in uncharted territory, now you're going to really see who want to go there and who want to go above and beyond there. It's like going deep sea fishing. Like some people just fish on the surface, but when you got to get deep, and now you got to go out deep in that ocean fishing. Some people ain't got the gear. Some people ain't got the boat, and they don't even want to go. Let alone if they may have the equipment, they don't even want to go. They don't even want to go because it's like, nah, I stay right here at the surface. I'll catch what I catch right here. When you go deep sea fishing, you'll be amazed what you can reel in. But when you at the surface of it, everybody catching them fish right there. You go deep sea fishing, it's gonna be totally different what you reel in. See, that's how come the powers that be. And it's not just the government, the powers that be, the people that understand how this works. That's why only select a few people can be a part of a chosen few people because it's not personal any longer. When that wool get pulled back from over your eyes and you start to see things clearly, you take none personal. Everything is business now because you get it. Because you're going to have a group of people that's all they're going to do is just whine and complain and take everything personal and they ain't going to get nothing done. So they just alive and not living. When you learn how to live and stop being alive, you won't be in that same pack of people that's just alive. When you start living, you be in a different section of people. And that's how those group of people could draw people in and get them to do what they want them to do, and they don't even know they're doing it. I'm gonna say that again. That's how they could draw those other people in and get them to do what they want them to do, and they don't even realize they doing what somebody got them doing. And when you start to point that out, you will become the problem. See, I'm learning this. You either a victim or you the villain. And I don't mind being the villain in someone else's story because I'm not going to be the victim in my own story. I'm going to be the victor in my own story. And I don't mind being the villain because it's a lot of villains out here. But I'm also learning with them being a villain, they being a victor. And the victims, they just sitting back being a victim, believing somebody gonna come save them. And in the process, they forget to save themselves because they believe in because they're a victim, somebody gonna come save them. So now, when nobody comes save them, they gonna blame the world. They gonna blame other people, family members, whoever else. But in the process, since they was a victim, they ain't think about saving themselves. They ain't think about saving themselves. So I don't mind being a villain because in my own story, I'm never going to be a victim. I'm going to be the victor. And it ain't because I'm writing the story either. It's because when you be a victim, you looking to be saved. But if you become the villain, you learn how to save yourself. Because to other people, they're going to say you're a bad person. Because they got that victim mentality. See, when you wake up, you understand that you got to be a villain because you woke. You could literally see. You could see through the walls. You could see beyond the bricks. You could see behind the music, behind the TV screen, behind the basketball games, beyond the football games. It's like you got x-ray vision now. And when you accept that you have x-ray vision, you get to see through people that's shallow and hollow. And that's what's going to make you the villain now. And I'll be that. I'm accepting that. Because when you see that, you can see through people foolery and masquerades and BS. And you ain't got to call them out on it. You ain't got to call them out on it. One thing's for certain, though, they'll call you out because now you the villain. Because it's no one's fault that you dancing to the music that's being played, that you being a puppet. Because the people that's in place that got people being puppets, they're not coming out saying we're going to make you a puppet. They're just going to make you a puppet by having you mentally, psychologically programmed to do what they want you to do. And they not literally gonna ever say, we're gonna make you do this. They just gonna put things in place and you're gonna abide by it. But when you wake up and you become woke, you see, oh nah, I ain't gotta comply with that. That don't apply to me. And it's not that you're being defiant or disobedient. You just start to listen to your own self now. I'm going to say that again. It's not that you're being defiant or disobedient. You just start listening to yourself. And that's power. And that's power. See, but when you're not listening to yourself, certain people try to convince you that that's weak. Because now you're starting to find your own way. And when you find your own way, you got to be on your own. And that makes you a villain. How come that make you a villain? Because things that other people be entertained by, it's not amusing to you any longer. Because you know it's distracting you from staying focused, staying on your purpose, knowing that it's a real mission ahead. And when you start to get on your voyage and your mission, now you really get to see your path and your purpose. But when you're not woke, you always get blindsided. Like, oh, I didn't even see this coming. Because you're not woke. Because you weren't about being entertained all the time. So now things can easily blindside you. Because the dopamine, you want that dopamine, you want that adrenaline rush, you want that hit. It's like a drug addict when they take that first hit of any drug. They chasing that first hit. They chasing that first high. And when it wear off, you get worse and worse coming back for more. And you start to do anything for more. So you start to chase around looking for that dopamine. So it's like, this boring. Let me go find this. Let me go find that. So you start to move around like, nah, this ain't satisfying enough. And now, when you can't get the dopamine, you start to get frustrated. You start to tell yourself, this is boring. Because that entertainment dopamine, you become an addict. You're like, damn, I can't get that dopamine rush I was looking for. And when it ain't there, you're going to go anywhere looking for it. And then the people that understand that, they'll throw you anything because they know you're just looking for that hit. So if you was being entertained by something and that lost its edge, you're still going to stay connected to it, even though it don't got the edge you had. It's like, at least they giving me something. It's better than nothing. But when you become woke and a free thinker, like, nah, I don't need that. That ain't for me. I ain't mad at it. It's just not for me. Nothing and nobody controls your thoughts. You control your thoughts. You control what you think. Not TV, not music, not the internet, not what someone else is going to say. Think. You control it. You say to yourself, you be like, no, I'm good. because you see that the dopamine is temporary high and it don't do nothing for your spirit. It don't do nothing for your soul. It may it may touch your sense of humor. It may help you escape reality, but it don't do nothing for your spirit and your soul. And for me, that's where I'm at now. It gotta do something for my spirit or my soul. I was able to allow other things to help me escape escape reality. You know what? I'm glad that I'm able to see clearly that I needed a reality check. I, I needed a reality check. And I'm glad that I got a reality check. And now when I look at myself and I look at the things that allowed me to wake up from the trance that I was in, that's power. That's power. Because I ain't walking around like a zombie. I'm moving with a sense of purpose. I'm moving with a sense of purpose. I appreciate my path. I appreciate my journey. That's why I salute now all my wise warriors. I'm thankful for my wise warriors. They know who they are. I appreciate you guys. They knew, like I knew, we would make it to this point. And the serious part to that is we just getting started. We ain't even scratched the surface yet. We just getting started. We ain't even scratched the surface yet. And that's what I like. That's what I appreciate. Ain't even do that yet. We haven't even scratched the surface. We haven't even scratched the surface. When we do breakthrough, watch how it turn out. Watch how it turn out. Watch how it turn out. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop us. That ain't gonna happen. See, when you start to see clearly, your discipline level has to rise. The discipline level has to rise. And of course, people are going to be upset, but so, see, before you even woke up, people was upset with you. Now they're upset with you because you woke up and you're not paying attention to nothing they see. Now they're upset with you woke up, not paying attention to nothing. So now you're gonna really be able to see how this hate thing works. See, that other hate is light, but this hate is gonna be personal. See, another thing that happens when you wake up, you stop following and you go a whole nother direction. You go a whole nother direction because you get it. You like, nah, I gotta go this way though. Like, I can't go that way no more. That's the direction of following. And that's because you woke up. You see that following don't get you nowhere. A lot of people follow. A lot of people do that. See, when you start to question things, it's not that you questioning it for an answer. You question it because you know when you start to question things, you won't get an answer. And that's the point of questioning it, because nobody's not going to be able to answer something that they can't sustain. A bunch of lies, a bunch of manipulation, a bunch of exaggeration. How you going to answer that? So you're not questioning it to question it. You question it because you understand and you see it's lies, it's exaggeration, it's fabrication. And I'm not going to be foolish and just sit here and know that this is exaggeration, lies, and fabrication. So I'm going to question it. And when you start to question lies, exaggeration, and fabrication, that make people uncomfortable. And they'll tell you, nah, you good, this don't apply to you, because you questioning the morale of what people say. See, I'd rather question than complain. I'd rather question than judge. I'd rather question than be confused. And when you do that, that's when you got problems that you ain't even know you had. Because when you start to question and you know you're not going to get answers, because it's no answers to the lies, to the foolery, to the manipulation. It's no answers. And for the people that say, I ain't going to even ask that because I know it's a lie. No, they know that, but yet and still, they'll accept the games, the lies, and exaggeration, because it goes back to that dopamine rush they looking for again. It's like, as long as I get some more entertainment, some more dopamine, don't matter if somebody lying to me. It ain't that serious. And that comment, I love that comment because I'll ask, so what is that serious? I'll just ask, so what is that serious? You bring up health, I guess that ain't serious enough because, again, dance, puppets, you're going to just listen to what the doctor tell you to do. You bring up the economy, okay, well, it's like that because the government. Bring up houses or homes, well, I didn't really qualify for a loan, so the bank hating on me. Why this didn't work out with your wife or your husband or family or whatever? Well, they ain't gonna never look at themselves. See, when you wake up and you become woke, you blame yourself because you was in a trance, like I just did previously. I was in a trance. That's my fault. That was my fault. I was in a trance. That ain't my mama fault, my daddy fault, the education system, the government. It was my fault. I was in a trance. I gotta blame me. See, when you do that, now you're going to see who's who and what's what. But get on that blame game wagon. Oh, you're going to get tons of people to agree with you because they want to play the victim. And you start saying, no, it's like this because of this. It's like that because of that. So now when you play the victim game, oh, people going to definitely jump on that train. Yeah, no, I've been a victim too. Yeah, I was suffering from this and that, and we're gonna continue to suffer because they don't love us. And do you love you? I don't care who don't love me. I don't care who don't like me. I love me. I like me. So I don't care who don't like me, who don't love me. Okay, they don't have to. But see, I'll ask that question. I say that's why I ask questions. Do they love themselves? Do they like themselves? That's the question. I don't care if you don't like me, you don't love me. You ain't got to. But do you love yourself? And I know it'll be yes, because it's like they're not going to admit they don't love themselves or they don't like themselves. It's yes to keep me from asking any more questions. But when you love yourself, you pull that wool back and start to see things clearly. You don't follow the pack and the herd. You become the herd and the pack that everybody's following. It's just you. See, that's what power do for you. That's what power do for you. You have people following you. You have people, and when you get the power, you don't want people following you. That's the next level of power. See, some people get power and only want to be followed because they lonely. See, when you get self-absorbed power and you take your energy to the next level, you be followed. You don't even know people trailing you because you ain't got time to look back because all you going to keep doing is growing and elevating. You don't even know people trailing you. But when you get the power and you lonely, you like, yeah, all right, I got this many followers on Instagram. I got this many followers on YouTube. I got this many followers on Facebook. That's why I ain't on nothing but YouTube. Because I ain't worrying about all that. That's just something else to keep people distracted from staying on their purpose, from staying on their journey. I'm going to make my presence felt right here on this. Because no matter what else I'm on, more than likely to be posted here. So even if I'm on TikTok, somebody will do what? Upload it to YouTube. So why do I really need to be on TikTok? Because somebody else is going to look to tell me I'm saying, but you can have more following if you get on TikTok. Thanks, but no thanks. See, that's what I mean by when you become woke. You get to see things much more clearly for yourself and to yourself. When you sleep, people talk about you. But when you woke, people start to hate on you and hate you, and it become personal because you woke. You don't blame people. You don't blame the government. You don't say, well, it's like this because, nah, it's like that because you was sleepwalking. And now that you became woke, you get to see things exactly for what they are. You get to see people for exactly who they are because they're going to show you. All you got to do is just sit back. When they get frustrated, they're going to tell you they frustrated. And they're going to tell you why they frustrated. And it ain't to be judgmental. They're going to reveal it to you. How, how is someone judgmental when somebody's going to reveal their fears and their weaknesses? That's not being judgmental. They revealed it. That's how come, not why, how come you shouldn't put everything on the internet. You shouldn't put everything you do on the internet, what you eat, where you go, every outfit, every conversation, your successes, your failures. I'm not saying don't share your successes, but everybody don't want to see you win. They definitely want to see you lose, but for certain, they don't want to see you winning. So I don't need to post the wins or the losses. Just put that information out there that's necessary that somebody could gravitate to help them further their journey. That's that. And it's over. But just to put that dopamine out there, because like I said, what happens when the high wear off? What happens when the high wear off now? So now you're gonna have people coming back looking for the dopamine, and then when the dopamine ain't there, typical situation, they're gonna criticize you. Oh no, it ain't what it used to be. Of course not, because you came just looking for the dopamine. That's why people say, well, cars ain't what they used to be. Yeah, because you got that adrenaline rush when you first got that first car, you first started driving. And now you've seen other people's cars. You're like, man, I need to get me a better car, a newer car. It's the dopamine, it's the rush. Same thing with music or the same thing with movies. But when you not looking for that dopamine rush and you like, nah, I got to keep elevating. I got to stay on my path for my purpose. And you hear or see someone else on a path and a purpose, you're going to salute them. You're going to salute them. And that's how it works. And that's how it goes. Because you're on your path and your purpose. And you get it. See, when you become woke literally and logically, you could tell who's really on a path because they won't have time to be doing a bunch of miscellaneous things all the time. They're everywhere except for on a purpose and on a path. They're everywhere else except for that. See, that's how you're going to really detect it and notice it because they everywhere except for on a path and a purpose. They may be on a path for a few minutes, an hour or two out the day. When you're on your path and your purpose, that's a lifelong journey. It don't never stop. It keep going. It keep flowing. But when you're not on that, you always got time. for that dopamine rush. You always got time for that. See, since I'm becoming more and more woke, I'm thankful that I deal with less and less because I understand logically and literally people full of manure. They full of it because they want to control you because they want you to do what they want you to do. They want you to say what they want you to say. And when you create your own niche, you'll see where you really stand. Not in their life, because you got your own life. So you just you'll see where you stand though. If you assume or thought you was a part of their life, shame on you. People don't love themselves. How they gonna love other people? How they gonna do that? It's a temporary love. It's conditional. It's not unconditional. See, you can always love yourself unconditionally. But how you gonna be upset when somebody else ain't doing it? They don't love themselves unconditionally. They had a job for the money. They only deal with family because they lonely. They're not doing things to be sincere. See, when you start to become sincere, it doesn't matter what somebody's gonna say, how they gonna react, because you're gonna criticize yourself regardless. See, one thing about this thing I do, podcasting, what I appreciate about it is at times, I go back and I listen to some of my older content, some of my older videos, and be like, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I said that. And then I see the things that pops up in my algorithm. I'll be like, yeah, I'm on my way. Yep, I'm definitely on my way. And I'll be able to interact with multicultural people, more diverse people, more open-minded situations. And I could stay well rounded and not box myself in to one demographic. Because once you do that now, and you want to get out that box and you want to get well rounded, whatever that demographic is, you don't want to just fit that demographic any longer. People are going to come back and say, we made you. You can't turn your back on us. But if you already looking to be diverse and well-rounded, nobody could box you in and you'll fit any demographic. And you'll do that effortlessly because you're not trying. It's just a part of you and what you do. And now you ain't got to worry about it because you could fit into any demographic. Any demographic. It ain't about Democrat, Republican, Independent. It's not about that. It's just any demographic. Fit in any demographic. And now you'll start to see what well-rounded look like. And you'll start to interpret, man, those people just want to box me in. They just want to get me frustrated. And then when they get you frustrated, you'll see and you'll get a better understanding of that loser's mentality because they boxed you in. They just want to get you frustrated because a lot nowadays, that's what happened. People get frustrated. They get emotional. They refuse to think. They refuse to get strategic. Not everybody, but a lot of people get emotional. They get frustrated. They lash out. They crash out. See, but when you become woke literally and logically, not like a movement. No, because that's following that herd I'm talking about. But when you get woke and you see for yourself and you control your mind and you step out the matrix and it's like, okay, all right. So that's what that really was about. You'll start to see things a lot more clearly and you won't have as much conflict with others because you know how come you're in conflict with yourself to not get pushed back into that matrix again. I'm gonna say that again. You won't have as much conflict no more because you're gonna fight with yourself not to get pushed back into the matrix no more. See, a lot of people have conflict because they so caught up in everything and everyone else. So they get in a conflict. But see, when you get into conflict with yourself, you don't see everything and everybody else. Like I said, they become shallow and hollow. You get to see through them. They become hollow. You get to see straight through them. They become transparent. They become transparent. Like, I ain't worrying about that. And when you say you're not worrying about it, sometime they'll get it to say, "What you ain't worrying about me?" No, I'm not worrying about that. That don't do nothing for my spirit. That don't do nothing for my soul. So they'll start to misconstrue everything you saying and everything you mean. Just because now you're not giving them that argumentative attitude no more. You're not giving them that love that you used to give them, the conversation you used to give them, and you giving it to yourself. And they don't give it to themselves because remember, they got it from you and they get it from other things and other people. So now that you're giving it to yourself, they got to scratch the back of their head and become confused because it's like, well, damn, how they giving this to themselves? So now they say you self-centered, you conceited. Oh, you think it's all about you. Who else is supposed to be about it? And when you're doing it though, and it's not about fashion no more, it's not about competing no more, they'll get confused because everybody and everyone else they dealing with, it's about competing. So you start competing against yourself. You challenge yourself to do better than you did the day before because you understand and you logically and literally see how the matrix work. And you don't want to be caught up in it no more. And it's gonna take you through a whirlwind. But once you stop being spent around with the whirlwind and you ain't caught up in the tornado no more, you get to see things clearly. You get to see beyond the TV screen, beyond the music, beyond the sports, beyond the athletics, beyond the government, beyond Congress, beyond education. You'll be able to read a book and literally understand every context in that book, every paragraph, every sentence, every word. And you'll literally be able to read the book and the book won't read you. It's kind of like what Google do. It's kind of like what Siri do. They read people. And people want to know how come they go through what they go through. And the CIA could do psychological biopsy on human beings. Because while we studying, or we think we study it, NBA players, rappers, singers, and celebrities, the CIA is literally studying people. So they know what time you want to go to bed, what time you want to get up. what food you like to eat, what clothes you like to wear. They know how to tap into emotions. They know how to play with your membrane. Literally, they know how to do that because they got studies and this is what they do. This is what they do. So while you paying attention to what that actor's doing, that rapper's doing, that movie star's doing, they paying attention to what people doing. And what I appreciate about it, once I woke up and I'm being awake every day, I can't get emotional because that's not a nationality thing. See, that's what I appreciate about being woke. It's not about nationality no more. See, having power is knowing how to control yourself and knowing what not to let control you no more. See, that's power. So it don't matter how much resources or money somebody else got, you'll be equivalent to them from a mental perspective because they know they can or they won't be able to use their money as leverage against you no more or their status as leverage against you no more. So it's like it don't matter allegedly how much star power or money they got. It holds no bearing in your life because you understand that it's a material thing. And they're going to respect you because materialism don't affect you. Status quo don't affect you. It means nothing to you. It's minute. How come? Because now you're well-rounded. They can't box you in with their money or with their celebrity. Because you like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm okay with what I have. I'm okay with what I can get. That ain't for me. I appreciate it though. It ain't for me. And that shifts the power dynamic. It gives you your power back. And they don't see that. What keeps you weak though? Worrying about someone else's life. How? Because you're not paying attention to your own. So being awake or becoming woke shouldn't be a pack of people in a movement. It should be you moving away from the pack and creating your own movement. See, that's how you become woke. You create your own movement. That's how you become woke. You don't follow the movement that was created. Nah, you don't do that. That's how you box yourself in. And you're like, how did I get in this situation? Because when you start to follow, you box yourself in. But when you start to be well-rounded, you can see all around you. Because like I said, when that whirlwind stopped and that tornado stopped, because it's spinning you around, and when you stop, no matter where you stop at, you're going to be able to see all angles because you're well-rounded. But when you boxed in, it's like the walls start caving in on you. And when the walls start caving in on you, you get claustrophobic. And now you're going to get frustrated. So you're going to lash out and crash out. Because mentally, they know the wall's going to close in on you. And it's going to be a amount of time before you lash out and crash out. And now you making yourself a loser. And you ain't even know you was in the game and you was being played. But the whole time you was in the game, you was being played. And in games, it's winners and losers. And not only that, the game get played out. See, some people play the game and they're able to retire. Some people play the game and they can win. Some people play the game and they lose. Some people play the game and just get played out. And some people play the game and get bored. and they want to go to another game. See, that's that dopamine again. That's that dopamine again. So I'm going to repeat that. Some people play the game able to retire. Some people play the game and they could win. Some people play the game and lose. Some people play the game and get played out. Some people play the game and get bored. So I decided to create the game. I'm going to say that again. I decided to create the game. And that's when you become fully woke on your own. You create your own game. And it don't matter who wants to play. It don't matter no more because you control your game. Because you literally and logically get it. And when you control your game, you're going to see how much people really hate you because that hate is personal now. Because you're not going to play their game because you don't want to play with them. And it ain't because they're not a good participant. It's just the game they playing. You don't want to play that game. That's what it is. You don't want to play that game no more. You don't want to be entertained by the same old songs, by the same old dance, by the same old movies, by the same old food, with the same old arguments. Argue with yourself. Tell yourself, I got to be better than I was the day before. So therefore, when the people come around you with the games, you can say, nah, thanks, but no thanks. And you'll start to detect, okay, yeah, that's personal hate. Because they'll tell anybody that want to listen about you now. You know what I'm saying? They think they better than me, or they think they better than other people, or they think they smarter. The first thing they should be saying is that you're actually thinking. Because nowadays, people aren't thinking on the level they should be. Someone else controls their thoughts through a like, through a comment, through a post. So when someone doesn't like something or doesn't comment, you're supposed to say to yourself, you're winning. When they do like something and comment, you got to start looking at it as a certain way. Why? Because you got to pay attention to what people like or what people comment on. See, when you start speaking with sense, moving with purpose, you're not going to get a lot of response to that. You're not. You're not. See, people that's not liked, they're not liked for a reason because they standing in purpose and they see their path and their journey. See, you got to understand when you liked, what happens when you're not liked. So it don't matter to me if I'm liked, loved, or hated. Don't matter. I'm on my path and my purpose. And I don't want nobody to like my path or my purpose because it's my path, it's my purpose. See, you work so hard to be liked, you start to not pay attention to yourself. And you start to not like yourself because you got to be liked in somebody else's eyesight. You got to be noticing somebody else's eyesight. And you start to not pay attention and notice yourself no more. See, you lose yourself when you start to be paid attention by other people. And you start to ask yourself, well, how did this happen? How did I go through this? Because you start paying attention to other things and other people so much. So I appreciate it that it appears to be when I do what I do, ain't nobody paying in no mind. That shows me that I'm actually getting that winning mentality. I'm getting that winning mentality. Because only a chosen few is actually winning. Only a chosen few is actually winning. It ain't a lot of people winning. And only certain people can win because they understand that they actually controlling the game. And when you understand that and you see that you controlling the game, it don't even matter no more. See, I'm controlling the game. When I leave this live stream, it's over for me. But for other people, it's still gonna go on because they don't know how to turn it off in their mind. It starts with me and it stops with me. That's that. I get the sincerity. I get that. I sense the sincerity. See, people can always tell you how to do it when they never did it. They can tell you how to do something. They never did it. It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that. And we in the days and times when it don't matter if somebody's being totally honest and they could prove everything they saying. It don't matter. If we don't like you, don't matter what you saying, that's true. We just don't like you. And that's another thing about the like thing. People gotta group up and not like somebody. It's hard for somebody to dislike somebody on a one-on-one. It's more easier to hate somebody on a one-on-one. But the dislike need groups of people to do that. See, on the one-on-one, it's easier to hate somebody because that resentment it just comes from indifference. But the dislike, you got to get what other people say. Yeah, nah, I don't like such and such. They be like, yeah, I don't like such and such either. So now you don't even like the other person that don't like the person that dislike the person that you dislike. You just like that person because they dislike the person you dislike. So you really don't like them. You really don't like them. You just happy with the thought of somebody disliking somebody that you dislike. See, that's true hate. That's personal hate. It's personal hate. It's like, you know what? I don't like that person. I don't even. So now, y'all don't have nothing in common. Y'all just dislike the same person. That's not nothing in common. That's just true hate. And when you really start to pay attention, think about it like, damn, that's terrible. Like, I don't really know this person, but since they don't like who I don't like, okay. But you don't really see it as hate because somebody dislike who you dislike. You don't really know that person like that. Don't matter. Don't matter. Now you're having a conversation based off y'all having the same person that y'all dislike in common. You don't really know that person, but since they dislike who you dislike, we could talk about that. And now that's how you build a fake relationship of hate and dislike. It's a fake relationship. It's not a sincere relationship. It's not a real relationship. It's not. But since you don't like who they don't like, you think that's a real relationship. And that's what happens when you become woke. You get to see through that. Like I'm saying, they don't have a true friendship or relationship. They just don't like me. So the common denominator is me. The common denominator is me. It ain't a true friendship or togetherness. The common denominator is me. They just don't like me. So they gonna masquerade around and deal with each other, knowing what it is. And you know what? No problem. No problem. And the more and more intelligent you become, you start to appreciate that. Because now, in that situation, one of the people in that situation is gonna like somebody that the other person dislike. And now they gonna get into something. They gonna get into something because it was never mutual. The dislike and the hate was that real that they try to overlook that and supersede that just to dislike you and hate you. That's all. That's all that was about. That's all that was about. See, when you wake up, you get to see that. You're like, man, they ain't true friends. They ain't real friends. They just dislike me. So they gonna make it seem as if they get along just to dislike you. And me, I appreciate that. I love that. Because now they gonna get into something, and now that's two less people you gotta worry about ever interacting with you again. Because they're gonna get into something. Because one of them is gonna end up liking something or someone that the other one don't like. And they're gonna do the same thing that they attempt to do to you to that other person with someone else. It's gonna be a repetitive cycle. It's gonna be a repetitive cycle. Because it's gonna be something or someone that they like, and the other person gonna be like, I don't like that. And they're not gonna even tell them that. They're gonna look to find somebody else to tell it to. And then they're going to be speculating and say, I thought we was cool. Or I thought we was all right. Nah, y'all wasn't never cool. Y'all wasn't never all right. What y'all had in common was y'all disliked the same person. That's all. That's it. And y'all decided to talk about that person together. So it appeared to be you had a relationship and y'all don't. Ain't got no relationship. Y'all ain't cool. Y'all ain't got no bond, no friendship. Y'all just dislike the same person. So it seems as if you had a friendship or a bond. It's negative. You ain't have that. Y'all just was content talking about the same person y'all dislike. That's all. That's all that was. And that's that victim mentality. Like you dislike somebody based off their morals and their values because y'all don't share the same morals and values. Or they outspoken about their morals and values. Or they standing firm on their morals and values. So they're not liked. But when it comes to your morals and values, you stand firm and they don't like it. They're a hater. Or how they gonna tell you what to think and how to think. They're not telling you that. It seems as if you want to tell them that. That's why you don't like them. Because they're not supposed to stand firm on their morals and values. They're not supposed to do that. That's how that go. That's how that go. It's a moral and value thing. And when you have that, People become fiberglass. You can see straight through them. They fragile. They're going to be very egotistical, very emotional about everything. So every time you bring up something, all they're going to do is challenge it and challenge you. That's all they're going to do. And you're going to get it. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, they just doing that. Their ego hurt. They pride hurt. And you ain't do nothing intentionally to them. You're just going to understand how it go. It's like, damn, their ego and their pride hurt for what? That's how it go. The ego and their pride going to be hurt. You ain't say nothing, you ain't do nothing, but the ego and their pride hurt though. How come? Because you standing firm on what you know that's relevant and that matters and that's important. So again, they don't have a friendship with the other person. Use just the common denominator. Sister Winnie, what's going on? Thanks for tapping in. So they don't have a true relationship with the other person. You the common denominator. They don't get along with the other person. They just dislike you. So now it appears to be they filming or forming a bond. All they're gonna do is just talk about you. And like I said, when the other out of those two people, one of them are gonna like something that the other one dislike. And now they're gonna have to go to somebody else and talk about that person now. And that's how that goes. So they're gonna go to somebody else and say, you know what, but I'm saying, so the same thing they attempted to do to you, they're gonna do it to that person because they really didn't have a true friendship. The only common denominator was you. They didn't like you. So it appears to be they're getting along and they're not. They're just talking about you. That's all they doing. That's all they doing. So the common denominator is really you. And when you become fully woke and you wake up, that's why you become the common denominator now. Because you're not worrying about foolery. You're not worrying about the clown show no more. And when you question things, you become the problem because you're just supposed to accept everything you've been told. And you could question something from a logical standpoint. People still will be upset. They still will be upset. You're not supposed to question things. You're not supposed to do that. The reason why I question things because, like I said earlier, I learned it's going to be exaggerated, fabricated, and lies. So I'm only questioning things because I know when something is fabricated or is lies or exaggerated, it's not going to be an answer. It's going to be deflections. It's going to be deflections. It's going to be deflections. So I don't question things for arrogance. I question things for awareness. That's why I question things for awareness. And when you become fully aware, now, now you're going to see the hate and the fear. People fear what they don't understand. People hate what they can't control. People dislike those who free thinkers. It's like, Dad, yo, you debate everything, you challenge everything. I'm not debating anything. I question everything. Yes. Why not? Why not question everything that's in the food? Why not do that? Why not question People say they believe in things, then you question it. Oh, why are you questioning that? I'm saying because it's worth a question. That's why I say I believe in God. I just don't have religion because it separates people. Like, God is so great. Why do we need all these religions? Just believe in God. Keep it moving. That's it. I believe in God. But for somebody to tell me, well, okay, this is the best religion, it's like, man, God is the best. It's not about a religion. It's just about God. But when you do that, people get upset. People get emotional. It's like, damn, why people getting so emotional? Why people getting upset? I said, it ain't like I said I ain't believe in God. But can't do that neither. Can't do that. That's a problem. It's like, well, hold on. I'm saying I don't got no religion. I'm saying you ain't got a religion, but you believe in God. It's like I don't need a religion to believe in God. I don't. Like I don't need to go to school to get educated. I can read books without going to school. I can't do that either, right? Like I can read books and not go to school and be educated. I can know arithmetic without attending college. But I say that, what you mean? How can you get arithmetic without going to college? I could do that. Some of the knowledge I've gained came from experience. It ain't come from school. School ain't prepared me to deal with the world. My experiences have done that. Does that mean I don't like school? No. I'm just saying some of my experiences came from life, and I had to learn that books can't teach me. A teacher can't teach me. A professor couldn't teach me. That don't mean I don't like teachers and I don't like professors. It doesn't mean that. Some of the experience I had to learn from living life. They have nothing to do with education. See, but when you become fully awakened, that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem because you're not caught up no more. You're not caught up. The things that used to mean something means nothing now. Like, man, that don't mean nothing to me. I ain't worried about that. When you enhance your way of thinking, when you enhance your mentality, you become a threat. That's power. Enhancement, growth, that's power. Evolution, that's power. And like I said, using it to elevate you, not for people to follow you. And when they following you, you're not allowing them to follow you because you're a leader. They're following you and you don't even know they're behind you. See, people get power and want to be followed because they're miserable and they need the company. They need somebody to always come with them. They need somebody to always agree with them. I don't care who agree with me. I'm just not going to disagree with myself. That's all. I'm going to stick to what I know is going to work for me. If that sounds selfish, okay, great. It's supposed to be self-preservation. See, that's another thing about when you become fully awakened. People are going to tell you you got self-preservation, but other people only have self-preservation to challenge other people. They only get selfish. It's like, look, it's a fashion show. My sneakers cost more than yours. My car is better than yours. My man is better than yours. My woman look better than yours. That's my new. I ain't into it for that. I'm into it for elevation and growth, the better me, better mentality, better diet, more self-respect, more self-awareness, more self-control, more self-discipline. I'm not in it for those other things. See, that's how come people on it like that to challenge people. So they could say, I'm better. I'm better than you. Nah, I want to be better than I was. I want to be better than I was the other day, yesterday. So when I move into the next day, I know I'm better than I was the previous day. See, that's power. That's power. It's not power to look to be better than other people because it's going to always be somebody better than you. Then what? And there's going to always be somebody less than you. So now what? But what about being better than yourself? Work on that. And I'm thankful and I'm appreciative that that's what I'm about. I'm challenging me. I challenge myself. I'm not competing against anybody but me. Can I outdo myself? That's what I'm focused on. I'm not challenging other people. There's no need to do that because it's always going to be somebody that can outdo me, and they might not even be competing with me. I may be competing against them, and they don't even know it. So why am I doing that? But outdo myself, outthink myself, outclass myself, outdress myself. See, when you become fully awakened, you start to pay attention to that. You start to pay attention to that. But I don't want to be fully woke just to be with a group and a movement. And now I just want to rebel, just to rebel to say, look at me, I can go against things, man. Nah, because in turn, I end up going against myself. I end up going against me. I end up hurting myself, looking to rebel. So what I'm learning how to do is stay focused on my path and my journey. So I ain't got to worry about going against me because I know everyone else will, and rightfully so. But I ain't got to worry about going against myself. Now that would be foolish. That would be foolish. What am I going against myself for? This is why growth and elevation is at an all-time low because people go against themselves for other people. Now I'm saying I'm gonna show my girl, I'm gonna ride this out, I'm gonna show my man, I ain't gonna turn my back on them. It's not about that. Don't turn your back on yourself. I'm gonna show everybody I could get a better car. Why? Then what? All right, you got the better car. Now what? So now you just stuck on that? Nah. Show yourself you could do better for you. Show yourself that. See, the thing I like about me being fully awakened, every day I look to show myself something that I couldn't show myself the day before. So I look at this whole internet thing like school. See, when the teacher's teaching a lesson, you're going to have people that's going to come, which is the chat now, and be disruptive. They're going to argue with people in the chat. They're going to be trying to get females' numbers, or females going to be trying to get the dude's attention. And it's like the students that really going to get the lesson, they could be depriving them because they ain't come to school to get the lesson. They came to school to show off their new clothes. So they're in the chat to brag about what they got. They're in the chat to be disruptive. They're not in the chat to spread the education and the information. They ain't come to school to do that. They came to school to be disruptive, to be in the teacher way, to argue with the teacher, to get that necessary attention they wasn't getting when they was at home. So now they in the chat like, yeah, I get attention. Or I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna be disruptive. Somebody gonna give me attention because they neglected themselves. So somebody give them attention. So when you neglect yourself, of course you're gonna want somebody else to give you attention. That's how it works. That's how it goes. And when somebody else don't give you attention, you're gonna get mad, and it's just gonna be the blame game because you ain't gonna want to look at yourself unless you're looking at yourself to say, "I look good," or "I like my clothes, my jewelry, my chain, my watch, my hairdo, my lashes, my wig, my dreads, my baldy." my waves. It's the only time people look at themselves. See, I look at myself to say, you're not going to be who you used to be because you was out here sleepwalking. Like I said, when I'm coming from the bottom of the ocean, climbing up the mountain, I'm not looking down and back at people. I'm looking at my old self, telling my new self, you're not going to be that no more. See, people making it out the ocean and climbing up the mountain to look down at other people and look down on them like, look, I'm up here, y'all down there. I'm not doing that. I'm looking down at my old self like, you're not going to be that anymore. That's how come a lot of people past hold them back from their future because they can't let go their past. No, I'm saying I'm in this situation because my girl. I'm in this situation because my man. I'm in this situation because my pops, because my moms, because of the system. Nah, you in this situation because you won't let go your past because your future is much more brighter than your past was, but you don't want to let go of your dark past so you can see your bright future. See, I learned how to let go of my dark past to see my bright future. That's what's going on. Let it go. It's beneath me. Mean nothing to me. Mean nothing to me. The more and more I wake, the more and more I get more people tuning in and tapping in that's awake. And I appreciate that. And for the people who going to want to be awake, or they're going to come through because they're going to see other people coming through that's awakened. So I'm appreciate that. And that's what's going on. But a lot of people are walking zombies out here. They just moving around. And unfortunately, they won't have the time to wake up. And by the time they think it's time to wake up, their whole life gonna be gone. Because they paying attention to someone else's life and how they living their best life. And it's like, man, I gotta get my situation together. Would you think that? Okay, you can get it together, but you paying attention to someone else, how they living their best life. How they living their best life. How they live in the lap of luxury. And where they going, what they do. And in the meantime, in the between time, what about you? What about you? How long you gonna neglect yourself and pay attention to other people? Talk to me, Sister Winnie. Let what go? What's up? What you talking about? You said let it go. Let what go? Like, so the sleepwalking is serious nowadays. Like some people know they sleepwalking, but they don't care. They ain't worrying about it. They ain't gonna wake up. They don't know how to wake up because they've been in a trance for so long. They've been under hypnosis for so long. They've been under hypnosis for so long. They've been hypnotized by the same thing over and over. same movies, same music, same TV shows. Same thing. It's a repetitive cycle. And by the time they catch on, life done passed them by already. Life done passed them by. So when they look up, they like, hey, damn, that many years that went by already? Yeah, because you've been sitting back doing the same thing. Wake up, go to work, eat, shower, take a bath or whatever, and go to bed. Then when the weekend come, I got a little bit more free time. Let me try to do something. No growth and elevation. It's nothing but stagnation. Nothing but stagnation. They don't really want to wake up. They want to be a zombie. They want to be a zombie. So when you wake up and you decide, man, I can't be in zombie land no more, that's when you're going to become under attack now. Like I said, I don't mind being a villain in someone else's story. I don't mind being that. That's a right to me because I get it. I'm going to always be the victor. I'm going to always be that. I'm not going to be a victim. I'll be the villain. It's fine. See, because that victim mentality is why people stay stuck. Because it's always someone else's fault why they where they at. It ain't never their fault. It ain't never their fault. Somebody else's fault. No, I'm here because, or I can't make it because, can't make it because you ain't putting the effort and energy. You want it to be given to you. You want somebody to say, here you go. Gotta make it happen. Nobody gonna give it to you. And they should give it to you. Well, why should it be given to you? Gotta make it happen. So anytime you start to challenge and question, that's when you see the true intentions of people. Like I said, I believe in God, but I question religion. I'm the bad guy. It's blasphemous. How? Like I didn't say I didn't believe in God. I'm just saying you could believe in God. Why does there have to be so many religions? That's all I'm asking. But you do that, I'm wrong for that. I'm wrong for that. Oh, you questioning religion? You're not supposed to do that. Why I'm not supposed to do that? Why not? Where in the bylaws said don't do that at? Maybe me sitting back listening to it for so long is how come I got questions now? Because I've been doing this since I was a kid. I just been listening to what's been told to me. I just been following the same instructions, and I see it ain't got me nowhere. And now that I'm questioning things, my outcome is changing because I'm questioning things. So it's giving me a different outcome because I'm not just sitting there sleepwalking no more. I ain't just sitting there sleepwalking so I get a different outcome. And that's why the outcome has changed for me because I'm not just accepting that no more. Nah, I'm I'm gonna get different results by questioning things. Because when you make statements, somebody gonna debate that and dispute that. Oh, you know what you're talking about. No problem. So I'm gonna ask questions because I know now I'm gonna ask the right questions. But I ain't gonna get the right answers because it ain't no right answer to the questions I'm gonna ask. Because it's fabrication and it's lies and it's exaggerated. That's how come. That's how come I ain't gonna be able to get the right answers because it ain't no right answers because it's lies, fabrication, and exaggeration. That's how come. That's how come I ain't gonna get the right answers. But when you make statements, oh no, I'm gonna dispute that. I'm gonna refute that. No, that's a lie. Okay, all right. It is. Just like Christmas is a lie. Easter is a lie. Thanksgiving is a lie. People still celebrate it and they know it is. See, that's what I mean by when you become awake, you're like, hold on. Damn, a lot of people know Christmas is a lie. Why they still spending money? Some people even still argue with people about it. Like, yo, you ain't even come through for Christmas, yo, you run around for Thanksgiving, man. I don't celebrate that. That's a lie. I'm saying, man, man, you gotta find some time to spend time with your family. I ain't gotta do it then, no. I ain't gotta spend Thanksgiving with them. Like, come on. Anytime I eat, it's Thanksgiving to me because it's hard out here to get food, ain't it? Hmm. It's hard to eat a good meal, ain't it? So every day I get something to eat, it's Thanksgiving. It's a feast. I'm thankful. I pray over my food every time I eat. So that's Thanksgiving to me. Anytime I'm giving a gift, it's Christmas to me. It's a gift that I'm on this podcast right now. It's a gift, so it's Christmas right now. So I gotta wait till a specific day or date come to celebrate something. I ain't doing that. Any day I make it to the next day, I'm thankful. So that means every day is Thanksgiving to me. See, I got my own mentality. I got my own mind. So every day is Thanksgiving. I make it to the next day. I get some sleep tonight, get up the next day, Thanksgiving. Because I'm thankful for that. I was given another opportunity to better myself, to better my situation. I was able to eat. I prayed over that food. It's a feast. It don't matter if it's Roman noodles or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a feast. It don't matter if it's a bowl of cereal or a steak platter. It's a feast. It's a feast to me. What's going on, Leonardo? What's going on, Leonardo? Thanks for tapping in, friend. So that's how I see it. So I got a bowl of cereal or I got a chicken platter. That's a feast to me. I get it though. I'm supposed to wait for Thanksgiving and be thankful. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to wait for Thanksgiving and be thankful. I'm supposed to wait for Christmas to give out gifts. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a free thinker. I ain't doing it. Whoever don't like me or my mentality, I don't care. I don't care. But I'm not gonna wait for something to do something. So I gotta wait until Valentine's Day to tell my significant other in my life, my woman, how much I care about her, how much I love her. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Here goes some candy. I love you. So that's what I gotta do. I gotta wait for Valentine's Day to do that. I gotta wait for Mother's Day to tell my mother how significant she was to me. I gotta wait for Father's Day to tell my father how significant he was to me. And that's still limited. What about my grandmother? What about my grandfather? Why it ain't grandparents' day? They put in work too. So all that's what I'm saying. I'm a free thinker. It need to be grandparents' day, great grandparents' day. And let's just stop playing and give everybody a month. Other other things that ain't even as significant as mothers and fathers and grandparents and great grandparents. They get a month. I ain't gonna call them out. Whoever no, they don't. But I'm saying other things that ain't as significant, they get a whole month. So my grandparents can't get a month. My great grandparents can't get a month. But other things and situations and people that ain't even that significant and that important, they can get a month. But my grandparents or my mom and my dad can't get a month though. Or parents in general can't get a month. So I mean by when you wake up, you see things much more differently and much more clearer. And another thing about it too, like I don't live in that delusion of I gotta be perfect. Everything I say gotta be right. It gotta be politically correct. And I ain't worrying about that. Cause it don't. And it's not. And will never be. So I don't care. It ain't gotta be that way. That's why I appreciate building a diverse platform. So I can have people from all walks of life tune in and tap in and not worry about being under pressure. They could be them, no matter where they from, no matter how they live, no matter where they live, no matter what they do. As long as they respect themselves, they display self-discipline, self-control, and all that, they welcome. That's what's important. That's what's important. That's what count. That's what count. All that other unnecessariness, nah. I ain't worrying about the clown show. I ain't worrying about the clown show. Cause like I always say, what's gonna happen when entertainment run out? You can't get the dopamine no more. You're gonna gotta go somewhere else looking for the next hit. And what you gonna have to do? So I'm thankful that I've woken up from being in that zombie state, that coma. I'm thankful that I got up out of that, blaming family, friends, and the government and other people. And it's like I ain't never hold myself accountable for being caught up in a trance, being in a coma. And that's my bad I was in a coma. My brain worked, use it. I can't be thinking with my heart. My heart don't think, it pump blood. It's emotion. My brain work. Use that. Use my brain. Don't use my heart. It does nothing but pump blood. Stop being emotional. Be more logical. Be more rational. That's what's going on. And once I'm fully awoken, I'm aware of that. More rational, more thinking, less feeling, less emotion. Challenge myself, not other people. Challenge me to do better, to know better, to show better, to show me better, take care of myself better. None's personal, it's business. Look at everything from a business perspective now. None's personal. Can't be mad at tobacco company. People still buying it, ain't they? Like they could put all the warnings they want on tobacco products. People don't care. They still buying it. So why should I be upset with the tobacco company? People still buying it. They got the warning on the package. Warning, this could do this, and that. People overlooking that. They still buying it. So why be upset with the tobacco company? Why? It ain't the tobacco company fault. They put it out there. People decide they're going to spend their money on it or consume it. Okay. That tobacco company got people out here sick. It's like, don't buy it. They ain't making nobody buy it. They ain't making nobody buy it. I don't care how much advertisements they got it. Nah, she ain't got to be weak. You ain't got to be weak. You don't be weak, they'll go out of business. Because you can't make money, ain't nobody spending it. You're spending your money. Why should they stop it or regulate it or whatever? But when you speak like this, you question things, you become the bad guy. I'll be that. Like I said, I ain't gonna be the victim. I'll be the villain to turn out to be the victor. I'll do that. I'll do that. Like I said, you speak wisely, that's the issue. Go ahead and be foolish and talk foolish. I see that all the time as well. Like, I'm not on TikTok, but I hear about, okay, people on TikTok, they got TikTok challenges. Okay. None of them is productive challenges. Eating soap? Really? So that's what it comes to, people when they eat soap. Like, really? Okay. People on there doing things to unalive themselves and harm themselves. This is what it boils down to for attention. I'm gonna do something reckless and foolish, and people actually following that. But when you talk with logic and reason and sense, it don't it don't get millions of shares and views and likes. But do something foolish, do something gossiping. It's gonna get shares. It's gonna get likes. Do something with purpose and reason. You're gonna get hated on a large scale. You're gonna get ignored. Which for me, I'm loving it because it's showing and proving. It's showing and proving. Okay, all right, people ignoring it, people ain't sharing, people ain't liking. It's working. Thank you. Thank you. But go ahead and follow. Go ahead and gossip. Do something that ain't intelligent. Watch what happens. Or follow. Do that too. You can follow. Oh yeah, you definitely gonna get some traction because you following. But carve your own niche. That's what I'm doing. I'm carving my own niche. Oh, it'll catch on eventually because somebody gonna see it as trendy or fad, and then they gonna tell somebody else, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, all right, yeah, that's the move. We're gonna start doing that now. That's gonna get you likes or subscribers or people paying you attention. All right, yeah, let's do that. That's why I'm doing it now because I know I'm gonna get like-minded people to tap in. I know I'm gonna get people on their own journey and their own path. Like, nah, you know what? Nah, I've been on my path. I've been on my journey for a minute and this, that. And now personal, me and those people gonna be able to build. Then you're gonna get the people that feel left out. Those attention seeking people that I talked about earlier that's gonna tap in, that's gonna come to the classroom and shoot spitballs and get in the comment section and be disruptive and be argumentative and all that. Because they need and looking for the attention, so they're gonna pull up. I already know how it's gonna play out. See, but when you become fully woke and you're a visionary, you get to see what's gonna happen down the road. That's how it always works. You know, you be way ahead of the curve with it. Ain't nobody paying you no mind. But then when you start getting the like-minded people in, and the other people that know they want to be a part of it, but they a little bit hesitant, and they see the like-minded people coming, they gonna feel left out. Now they gonna tap in, and they really ain't tapping in to tap in. They just feel left out. So they not really tapping in to tap in. They just feel left out, and they gonna follow. So it's like, but this is where the crowd at. This is where the herd at. Because to them it looked like a party. So they like, nah, I want to be a part of that. I don't want to be left out. So they gonna come tap in and check in because they don't want to be left out. Like I said, they're not sincerely doing it. Nah, just don't want to be left out. No, that's the thing that get people on social media or the internet. It's like, how does get all these views? Let me see. They're not tapping in to really get the information or to see if the content is worth something. It's like, how did they get all these views? Everybody else is subscribed, let me do it. Or they'll do it to be nosy. So when something do eventually take off, they can be like, nah, I've been subscribed, nah. They're not doing it to surely support you or they like what you're doing. Nah, they trying to be nosy or they following because everybody else is doing it. That ain't a reason to do something to follow or you feel left out. So you going to tap in like, nah, it's going to backfire because it ain't sincere. It ain't honest. You're only doing it to follow, be nosy, or to see if they're going to do something that's trendy. It's like, all right, that ain't going to work. You got to tap in to get the information, to get the education, or you like the content, or the content serves a purpose in your life to help you continue on your purpose, on your path. But to do it, to be nosy, or to follow, or because you feel left out, that's why a lot of people got problems on the internet because they following somebody else. Oh, this is what they did to get subscribers. I could do that. This is what they did to get likes. I can do that. This is what they did to get noticed. I'm gonna do that. You got to have your own niche. That's why I do what I do. That's why I would tell people, not for a like, not for a view. Go back on my timeline and see if I've been consistently doing what I'm doing. Tell people to do that. And that's another thing people do too. They'll get at you based off something you said that they don't like instead of going back and seeing what led up to what you're saying when they catch up to you or they tap in or they tune in. It's just like, oh, God, well, what made you talk about that? Like, go back and see. But if you tap into something or tune into something and you really don't know, go do the homework and research. But I got to remember that lazy, weak mind frame and mentality is like, nah, I ain't going to go back and do that. So it's like, instead of me really literally finding out how all this transpired, I don't want to go back. It's like when people tap into music, it's like they like that song. They ain't gonna go back and listen to other songs. They like, I like this song. So they just gonna move on from there. Well, this is the thing that went viral, so they just tapped in from that point on. They ain't gonna go back and watch none of the other stuff. They probably some valid information in that. They ain't worried about that. This is what went viral. This is what the person known for. I'm only worried about this. They don't need to go back. I need to go back and tap in and see if I get some valid information out of this. This is what everybody else was talking about. I'm gonna tap in for this. I'm gonna just pay attention for this. That's it. And it's people prerogative. They can do what they choose to do. Their prerogative. Do what they choose to do. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out. And I know I'm not operating like that. I ain't on that frequency. The things that pop up on my algorithm, it ain't gossip. It ain't chitter chatter. It ain't the clown show. It's something that taps in with my soul and my spirit. It's something to keep my brain moving constantly. It challenges my thought process. It's challenging my dignity, my integrity, my honor, my morals, my values. I'm thankful for it. I ain't worrying about what other people got going on. If or when I tap into anything like that, if it taps into my path and my journey, it's humbling. I appreciate it. But I'm not stressed out about it. Like, nah, let me do. Ain't worrying about it. But I ain't just doing it like everybody else doing it. I've never been a follower. It's one thing I'm proud of. Never been no follower. Never been that way. And never been judgmental. So it's important to understand the logic and the reason behind whatever it is you into and whatever it is you do. If it ain't got no logic and no reason, leave it alone. Don't do it. Leave it alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let nobody bait you in with emotionalism and if you was this, or if you was that, or don't worry about that. That's a way for somebody to control your narrative and what you think. Always be your own man, always be your own woman. Period. Point blank. Point blank. That's what I do. I'm my own person. I'm not here to be liked. I don't care who likes me, who don't. Okay? Whoever do, appreciate you. Whoever don't, stay blessed. But that's not going to change what I'm going to do. Like I said, sometimes I do videos, lives, or pre-recorded. People say a bunch of things. Sometimes nobody says nothing. Doesn't matter. How come it don't matter? Because I know my wise warriors out there. They know who they are, and I know who they are. They gonna watch. They gonna pay attention. They so wise and they so strong. They know not to say nothing. They know that. They be like, "Yeah, I seen it. You know, I ain't gonna say nothing." I'm thankful they're not gonna say nothing because it's other people that might not know they watching, and then when they find, oh damn, such and such been watching, now they gonna hate on them for watching me or listening to me, or we build with each other. So it's like, damn, all right. So they're just gonna be quiet and just observe. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate them for that. So as always, thanks for everybody who tapped in and have been tapping in. I appreciate it. My mods, no, excuse me. Let me adjust that. The mods, because they're not mines. I don't own them. So the mods. Carla, Lions Pride, thank y'all, sisters. I appreciate y'all. So the mods. I gotta remember to say that. The mods. So Carla, appreciate you. Lions Pride, appreciate you. Sister Winnie, thanks for tapping in. Leonardo, thanks for tapping in. And everybody that was out there, thanks for tapping in, that was in the bushes. Just remember though, when you out there, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. So when I go live, that doorbell go off. You look through the peephole, you see it's me, and we could build together. We ain't got to chill together, but we could build together though. All right. So make sure you got that notification bell on, and make sure you sub. And future reference, when I be on a StreamYard, I'll be dropping a link. People welcome to pull up. Just remember, self-respect, self-control, self-discipline, self-awareness. They can pull up. Because if you going to respect yourself and be disciplined and control yourself, we can have a adult conversation. Constructive, productive. Like, I don't be cursing and dropping N-bombs, and I don't be doing none of that. Because I know I have a younger audience as well, and I know I have people from other countries tapping in. So I got to be mindful and keep it multicultural. So again, as always, keep your head up, stay focused, stay aware, and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Love yourself. Even if you don't know how to love others, you don't want to love others. Love yourself. Invest in yourself. Keep you first. Stay focused. Stay committed. Peace and power. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Peace, world. Till next time, I'm gone.